Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind Basics. Highways are the lifeblood of America, stretching thousands of miles across cities, towns, and vast open landscapes. They connect us, move us, and symbolize freedom and progress. But how did these complex systems of roads come to shape the United States? Join us on a journey through the history of highways in America, from their humble beginnings to the sprawling interstate network we know today. Chapter 1: Early Roads in America. Before highways, early Americans relied on dirt paths and rudimentary roads. In colonial times, roads were often built to connect towns and were vital for transporting goods and people. However, these early roads were rough, muddy, and difficult to travel. As America expanded westward in the 19th century, the need for better roads became more urgent. The Turnpike era in the early 1800s brought significant improvements. Private companies began constructing toll roads, which were maintained through fees paid by travelers. Roads like the National Road, built in 1811, became essential for connecting the East Coast to the growing Western territories. Chapter 2: The Rise of the Automobile and Paved Roads. By the early 20th century, the invention of the automobile changed everything. As cars became more popular, the demand for better roads skyrocketed. America's roads were still largely unpaved, making long-distance travel a rough and dangerous experience. Cities and states began to take the lead in improving their roads, paving them to accommodate the growing number of vehicles. With mass production of cars like Henry Ford's Model T, America entered the automobile age. In response, cities began paving roads, and states developed early highway systems to connect their major urban centers. But it wasn't enough. What America needed was a national road network. Chapter 3: The Federal Aid Highway Act of 1921. In 1921, the Federal Aid Highway Act was passed, a major turning point for American road development. The act provided federal funding for highway construction and began laying the foundation for a connected national system. This funding led to the development of thousands of miles of paved roads, but these roads were still primarily local or state-run. The highways built under this act, while vital, were limited. They were narrow two-lane roads, often winding through towns, which slowed down long-distance travel. However, this was just the beginning of something much larger. Chapter 4: The Birth of the Interstate System. The modern American highway system that we know today can trace its roots back to President Dwight D. Eisenhower. In 1956, Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, which paved the way for the interstate highway system, a massive infrastructure project that would revolutionize transportation in the U.S. Eisenhower, influenced by his experiences in World War II, saw the need for a national defense highway system. Not only would these highways improve military mobilization, but they would also connect cities, boost trade, and foster economic growth. The interstate highway system, planned to cover 41,000 miles, would take decades to build and become one of the most ambitious public works projects in U.S. history. Chapter 5: The Interstate Highway Boom. The construction of the interstate highway system changed the landscape of America. By the 1970s, highways crisscrossed the country, connecting small towns, large cities, and everything in between. These high-speed, multi-lane roads allowed Americans to travel farther and faster than ever before. Along with the highways came the rise of the American road trip. Motels, gas stations, and fast food chains like McDonald's sprouted up along highways, catering to the millions of travelers who took to the road. Highways fueled suburban growth, making it easier for people to live outside of cities while still commuting for work. Chapter 6: The Impact on American Life. The impact of highways on American life was profound. They didn't just change how we traveled, they reshaped the way we lived. Highways made it easier for people to move to the suburbs, sparking the post-war suburban boom. They facilitated trade and commerce, allowing goods to move efficiently across the country. But highways also came at a cost. In urban areas, many highways were built through low-income neighborhoods, displacing communities and altering city landscapes. The rise of car culture also contributed to traffic congestion, pollution, and the decline of public transportation. Chapter 7: Challenges and Controversies. As highways expanded, so did the controversies. In the 1960s and 70s, protests against highway construction grew in many urban areas. Communities that were being disrupted or displaced began to push back. Environmentalists also raised concerns about the ecological impact of highways, particularly in terms of pollution, land use, and wildlife displacement. Today, with increasing awareness of environmental issues, the conversation has shifted toward finding ways to balance our need for efficient transportation with sustainability and urban planning that considers the health of communities and the environment. Chapter 8: The Future of Highways. So, what does the future of highways look like? As technology evolves, so too does the vision for highways. Innovations like electric cars, autonomous vehicles, and smart highways promise to make transportation faster, greener, and more efficient. Cities are experimenting with new designs that incorporate bike lanes, public transit, and green spaces, aiming to make roads more sustainable and community-friendly. Highways will continue to be a critical part of the American infrastructure, but the future may see a shift towards smarter, more eco-friendly roads that connect us while minimizing their impact on the environment. Chapter 9: Conclusion. From rough dirt roads to a sprawling network of interstates, highways have played a pivotal role in shaping the American experience. They've connected cities, driven economic growth, and provided the freedom to explore. As we look to the future, the highway remains a symbol of mobility, opportunity, and the American spirit. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of highways. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe to Behind Basics for more deep dives into the stories behind the infrastructure that shapes our lives. See you in the next video.